Okay, so this is going to be kind of a low effort yap session, but it's my general overview and review of Daybreak Remisted or Daybreak 2 Remisted or the big recode that I have been waiting and hyped for months. I know in the past that I have been known as kind of the Daybreak hater and a little bit of like a not good at constructive criticism when it comes to this game, but genuinely, I love the game because I think it's unique in its concept and that it's done very well for itself and has avoided the trap of many ASM horror games like a stamina system on killer. I have my own thoughts on that, but besides that, let's just get into it. But first, some housekeeping rules actually. Don't take anything I say as gospel. Just saying that I said it or I agreed with the point that you have is not a good reasoning to have. You should be able to make up your own reasoning in your own right, either through paraphrasing what my reasoning is and agreeing with it, or something to that extent. Just saying that I said it does not make it an equal reasoning. Secondly, this is purely subjective. Liking this remisted version or recode or whatever is purely a subjective point of view. If you have been suffering and hate some parts of it, then that's okay and that's good to complain about and that's all right. But as long as you do it within the realms of constructive criticism, you should be able to acknowledge the positives while also showing the negatives that you have been experiencing. Doing only the negatives does not look like constructive criticism. You look like an asshole. There's no other way to put about it. Okay, now that that's over, on to the first part, overall gameplay. Okay, first thing in overall gameplay is the biggest thing to me, and I think a lot of other people. Performance. This game performs so smoothly. I don't think I've ever had a more smoother experience in Daybreak than recently. I absolutely love how smooth everything is. The visual aspect looks great, and the new lighting and the UI are nice, fresh, and good additions. It's very nice to not have it so, I guess, clunky almost. You know, some literally, I think I used to play with somebody, and the way that they could tell that experiment was using their ability was because their game physically just stopped working and they had a frame rate drop every time they burrowed. That's kind of an issue. Secondly, this more has to do with the killer side. The rage abilities are a great addition. I think they really do bring the power level for the killers slightly up and to the point of it being slightly killer sided, which is great for this game in my personal opinion. A 1v8 should be slightly killer sided because you're dealing with not just, four people like in Dead by Daylight or, for example, maybe five people in Violence District. You're dealing with eight whole people with differing abilities or sometimes stacking abilities that can always affect you as a killer, and whether that means the round goes by really, really quickly or not. And lastly, the pace of the rounds has quickened. It is much more fast paced, and I'm going to say this, that's a good thing because I could not tell you how many times I have spent doing streams of Daybreak and just spending time and time and time just sitting on a generator for like 7 minutes in a round to get four done because my team decided not to go gen rushers or is not working on generators because they're too busy bullying the killer because of the fact that the game used to be survivor sided in that state. Extremely so. I do have one slight gripe when it comes to all of that, and it's a small gripe just to myself, but really for others, it could be completely fine. If you're good at living or you're playing killer, I feel like the intermission timer could be 30 seconds. I don't know exactly what the speed of it is, but it feels like I get out of a game and I'm immediately placed into the next one. Now, I'm sure this will be changed between the time of it being in the testing server and it being in the actual main game. At least that's what my belief is, and it's fine that they're putting it in a much faster intermission time to really speed up the process of getting results on bug reports and things like that. I think that's amazing. That's all I have to say about gameplay. Now on to killers. Killers are stronger, and I love that. I'm going to say that bluntly. I love the fact that killers are stronger in this version and they pose an actual threat. Even some of the worst characters that were at bottoms of tier lists for a really long time, including my main for a while, Star Eater, or not my main, Banshee, have gotten upgrades to their kits that make them substantially better, whether that be Star Eater getting a secondary usage out of his wormholes and also him being able to be more aggressive with his teleports. It's honestly a nice, refreshing addition. However, there's one thing. As much as I love all the rage abilities and all of that stuff, the only character that I had a problem with was the rat. I haven't gone against the rat at all, but from what I've heard from people around me, that the rat's rage ability is a little bit something. Burrow, unburrow, it's an AoE damage dealer. And I don't mean in the way of Rocketeer's M1 being, a 4 hit till down. It just straight up does damage. And while that's okay, I think there could be some better use to it. I think if it was like an AoE slow, but the closest person got damaged, and the slow was, a bit more than what it is on normal burrow, that would be kind of cool. It would be less annoying for those that literally just got on a generator and suddenly they see a burrow come around the corner, and before they could react, all two of them are dead. Okay, now onto the survivors. I love a lot of the survivor reworks and a lot of the new perks. They actually all fit some sort of niche ability, and some of those are more niche, and some of those are actually a lot better. Javier, I thought was going to be kind of bad because all I heard from the teaser was that hiding in a locker put it in another locker. But having it where he builds up reduction of noise on his vaults and also vault speed is actually really cool and gives him a lot more preface and nuance than that. Yeah, you're going to be timing it so that you go into a locker whenever the killer detects, but it's much, much better that you're doing that and getting a boost out of it. It's just a timing issue. Now, this is the big survivor change, and this has to do with the stamina and looping system. It is much more difficult, and I think that's a good thing, but I have only one small suggestion to make. Just lower the time for stamina regen by like point 0.3, no, 0.5 seconds. I believe right now it's at 4, so putting it to 3.5 seconds gives somewhat of a more chance for survivors while still keeping it in the skill-based realm of looping instead of just, oh, I'm playing old day young and I just win this chase because you can't catch me because stamina teching and stamina regen exist, which is good. I'm very glad that stamina tech is gone, and I'm also much, much more glad that the fact that looping is a lot more difficult and a lot of maps have been changed to changes and balancing. This is a personal gripe for this next one though, but as much as I love the Crosby rework, please make the timer 20 to 25 seconds or buff his stats. 12 seconds is not enough time. You either need to be right next to the generator and hope to God that the killer immediately leaves, or you're just kind of cooked. It's a high risk, high reward playstyle. I get what they were looking for, but it also suffers from its own drawbacks because of the fact that you are a limited time kind of thing. I would be fine with it if it was like first 15 seconds, it does the normal thing that it has, but it lingers for 15 extra seconds after. And if you do it in the 15 seconds after, so it's a total of 30 seconds, and that half part, the second half, it had half the effect. So, like, instead of 38 repair, it did 19 or something like that. That would be more of just like, okay, it's a race against time, but if you don't get there immediately, you still have a chance to value off your perk. This is something that I have a little bit of, but I want to give a huge, huge shout out to the testing team and the development team behind Daybreak. Look, a lot of people, some people have gotten upset, some survivor mains or whatever it may be, have gotten upset about the differences between Daybreak 2 and Daybreak Remisted. And honestly, I see what was being done here. This is a new generation of Daybreak. This is not the same Daybreak that it used to be with amateurish coding and stuff like that. you are professionals in your work now at this point. You have worked years and years and years on end. Both me and Ice, when we played it on stream for the first time ever, we both admitted that this new style of Daybreak was the most fun we've had in a really long time. And honestly, I just want to say keep up the great work. The testing team and the devs and also Brenda has done an amazing job ensuring that this game is fun and also enjoyable. I like the fast-paced action because a lot of the times when you're just stuck there in ASIM games, you're either stuck sitting doing nothing or you're shitting your pants in chase. But this nice fast-paced style makes it seems like it's a constant race against the clock. And with the way that Daybreak is instead doing it where instead of surviving till certain time or surviving till a certain time and escaping, Daybreak style is you have to get out of here by a certain time. I love this new style. I love how it works, and I love that it's much more fast paced. So, I want to say big shout out to you guys. You guys did a wonderful job with this rework and or remist or recode or whatever you want to call it. It absolutely blew me out of the water. I will have to say that. I was expecting a fresh new coat of paint and also with the code and much more better responsiveness, but I got way more than that. We got a bunch of new characters. I love Kia as a kid and a character, and I love his voice lines so much. No matter what, I want to say that I was blown out of the water by this. This might just be my personal opinion. You know, a fresh visual style, a fresh coat of paint, a fresh new amount of responsiveness. The performance issues are almost completely gone. All that's left is a couple of bugs and balancing issues, and the game is really, really good, like, almost perfect, I would say. It's such a standout, unique point in the ASIM genre that I would love to see it do way better. So, yes, it has its gripes. The stamina system may need to be tweaked a little bit for survivors just to give some survivors that, while they're not supposed to be great at looping, a little bit more of a chance and give them more of a skill based higher floor and ceiling to looping with that character instead of just ensuring that if you're going to loop, you play a looper. Which, I mean, yes, that's their general perk, but I digress. That's about it. That's about all I have left here. And I would like to say one last time, this is all subjective. If you do not agree with my take, or think my take is dumb and stupid, or whatever and whatever, give a clear and concise reasoning in the comments. I'm willing to talk it out and willing to see other people's side of the story. Maybe they didn't have a great time with it instead of it just being like I never got to loop at all because blah 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 blah, the bugs with the terror radius or something like that. That's okay to have those opinions. And I think that no matter what, you should have those opinions. I'm not stopping anyone from having those opinions. This is just my opinion on things, and I think the remix turned out great. It was much better than I was expecting in almost every single facet because I was just expecting a lot of new survivors, a couple of new killers, a lot of new skins, and a new visual style. But I was not expecting a lot more reworks than I saw from the teasers, and also a much, much better gameplay and faster gameplay pace. So, enough yapping. Thank you very much for everyone watching this video. Huge amounts of love to the Daybreak dev team, Brenda, and the testing team. Y'all worked tirelessly, I assume, to make sure that this game is in the best state it could have been on the time that these public test servers were released. I wish you all the best. Have a good one, and I'll see you all next time. I should be making a video taking the funny moments from that stream of the first reaction, by the way. I just got to go back to working on my pressure video first.